Skulls are crunchy, aren't they? Welcome back to my channel. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers Headmasters G1 Retro Walmart exclusive Skullcruncher. If you're new around here, please remember to subscribe to my channel. So, let's dive right into this review. And we're going to be taking a look at the box, and obviously it looks cool, just like the other ones that we got already. We got the figures in the box, we got the Headmaster Grax, looks pretty good. On the back of the box, that's the most important thing. So, Skullcruncher, his function is Swamp Warrior. No surprise there. So the Autobots are like bad fuel, weak and greasy. Has a habit of grinding his teeth before he strikes, annoying his friends and tipping off his enemies. That's very interesting. And one final look at the attributes for this figure. And I've been anticipating this one more than some of the other ones. So let's open them up and see if he makes the cut. And here we're going to take a look at Grax, his Headmaster, and obviously it's pretty close, hard to see, but he has the red eyes, gold face, so they did a pretty good job on that. They got still the green, the tie-in with Skullcruncher there, and obviously the black there. And then for his robot head, we'll have the gold face, red visor there, so it looks pretty good overall. So there's Grax. I'm just gonna sit him down there. Then he comes with one of two other accessories here. So the weapon here, nice little blaster, looks pretty good. Nice little bit of molded detail there and everything like that. Matches up with the figure just fine. Matches with the claws on the front of its legs. And the other weapon, well, which serves as his tail, which there's a little bit of parts forming. But you can put this guy right in here. Just like that. And then you can take this weapon and peg it in right here. And then you can extend his arms out a little bit. And then he can just kind of cruise along, so to speak, with this thing. It's like one of those hover weapon things. And there's a handle here as well. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. And here we have that part of that weapon I showed earlier, but now you're going to take this blaster, peg it in right here, peg it all the way down, and it's going to serve as the end of his tail. So you're going to take this piece right here and just pop it on right here. So then there is a little bit of articulation for his tail. The problem is with that, the more you move it, it comes off because of the way the peg is and everything. But when it's on there, it's just fine. No issues there. So overall, the length of the gator Skullcruncher is looking pretty good. The rest of the figure here is spot on. I really like this, like the colors and everything like that. So it's definitely winning in that kind of category because they got the silver here up on his front legs. You know, they got the nice Decepticon logo there. There is even articulation for his head and also for his mouth, and he can still turn side to side as well for gator mode, which is really good. But the mouth opening, you can kind of just fit Grax in there. You can start biting on him and you can actually hold it. I think that's pretty cool. So the other thing is there's the storage. There's like this soft rubbery like piece right here, so you can store Grax in here if you want. So you just want to keep them in gator mode, and it'll just close down on it just like that, and it's just fine. But if you push too hard on this, you go force it down into, and then you gotta use something really small to pry that out then. But overall, it's pretty cool. Obviously tail articulation, but I already went over that. The back legs is just one solid piece. There is no articulation besides moving a full 360 around, and that's about it. For these front legs, there is at least like an elbow joint right here. So there is that, and then there's articulation for the claws, move up and down, and then this is more like a softer plastic. So overall, I think the Gator mode is a definite win. So let's take a look at robot mode and see if it makes the cut as well in that category. And we're just going to do the transformation. So you don't need the tail right now. That's going to be a fixed thing. But there's these pegs right here. And they tab in right just like that. You're going to peg the legs in. There's a little hole right there, right above my thumbnail. And that's where that peg will go. So just lock it in just like that. Then these legs, unfortunately on my copy, they don't seem to stay together too well. So it's like they're supposed to slide. Here, I'm going to show that. So when you're putting the transformation, there's like this piece right here, and there's one on the other side. And they're supposed to like lock in and everything. But mine, this one seems to work just fine, but this one down here doesn't. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that, because honestly I'm going to be displaying my Skullcruncher in robot mode, so it's not a big deal. So then there's these two tabs right here. They lock into these holes right there. So that's how you, I'm sorry, these slots right there, those little slots. So you're just going to fold that back, and before we do that, we're going to get Grax right out of there. Fold that back down just like that. Bring this down. This is kind of just lays there for now. So then the shoulders. Just wanted to take a look at this real quick. Just kind of bring them down. I gotta say, out of the transformation so far, this is probably one of the more easier ones of the bunch. And I think that's it. I mean, there's these two holes right there, but they won't like peg in or anything like that. His head, just back head, just kind of just sits there, which is totally fine. And then we're gonna get his head, and we got that nice face sculpt. I like that gold on him. Makes him stand out a little bit differently. His head's locked in, and now we got a Skullcruncher in robot mode. And one thing I wanted to point out, it's very difficult to get him to stand. He has these little toes that fold out, and it does help, but the problem is I think this is supposed to act as part of his heel back here, but it just doesn't give the support that he needs to stand up. So if you kind of stand him like that and turn his legs out like that, he'll be just fine. But if it turns into you want to stand him straight up like that, he's going to fall back. So if you do this, he'll be just fine. Or if you can put him into a knee bend type thing, he might be able to stand as long as he uses this secondary weapon even to help him. But so far, he's not terrible. I like the way he looks. I think the colors definitely complement each other, especially in robot mode and along with still the beast mode. But overall, the articulation is as follows. He has a full 360 on his shoulder. He can extend his arm out like that from his shoulder, but he's on a different type of hinge there. So it's kind of locked in of what he's able to do due to his transformation from the beast mode to this mode. He does have an elbow joint and bicep swivel, which is pretty good. No articulation with the hand whatsoever. It's just a straight point right there, excuse me. Knees are more than 90 degrees on the bend. Thigh swivel. Definitely can do the splits. No ankle articulation whatsoever. That's a big bummer there, along with the hand articulation as well. But overall, I'm still excited about this figure. I think he's still really cool to go up on my shelf, along with the rest of the Headmasters I've been able to collect from Walmart. So, in my eyes, he's still a win. My final thoughts on Transformers G1 Retro Headmaster Skullcruncher. honestly, he's terrible at standing if you want his legs to be straight. He's so back heavy due to his transformation and everything. That's just going to make him fall back instantly. The weapons, they work. I have no gripes about them, either of them. The head sculpt looks fantastic. The colors for robot and beast mode look phenomenal. But no ankle articulation and no wrist articulation. Hurts the figure pretty much. But they did add that forearm articulation, so that's a nice touch there. Mostly you would use that for the beast mode. So the best way to get this guy to stand is to kind of plant his legs down and then turn from the thigh swivels a little bit, the angle of his feet pointing out, and he'll stand just fine. So I'm happy I added this guy to my collection. Have you added this one for your collection, or did you pass on this one? Did you have the Titans Return or the Takara to skip this one, or did you just skip this one entirely? Let me know. Leave a comment. So I'm happy I added this one. Not going to change my mind about it. He was my most anticipated figure of the line, and the joints let me down a little bit with the articulation, but overall he looks fantastic. So I'm still happy he goes on my shelf with the rest of the Headmasters. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And I forgot one more thing. Yes, like I said, you can even do this. I don't know why. Who knows? But you can do it.